Good evening, everyone. It's me, Jeanette, one of the two co-founders of the Gratitude and Appreciation Summit International. You see that we're missing Kathy tonight, and Kathy is at her school feeling so grateful tonight because it is her first live concert. As you all know, she is a music teacher in Port Moody at a high school, and it's her first night that her kids don't have to wear a mask and they're just going to be playing and singing. So I am so excited for her tonight. So let's everybody a little special woo-woo out to Kathy tonight. And I'm super duper honored as well as excited to chat with Deborah Reynolds tonight, a business and leadership coach. So hi, Deborah, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. I had to get energized today because I'm more of a morning person than I am an evening one. But it's all good. I love being around you. I feel energized just being in your presence, girl.
Thank you so much. Well, our history is, believe it or not, you people out there in the Gratitude and Appreciation Facebook page, Deborah and I lived in the same part of the township of Langley called Walnut Grove for years. We never met there. The power of Facebook, that we commented on each other's posts, or we reached out to each other when we made this beautiful connection, because now you moved away. So tell everybody where you live.
I live in the beautiful wine country, Kelowna.
Oh.
So we moved up October of 20. So it's nice up here. I like it. It's calm, relaxed. You can actually see the stars at night.
Ooh.
How's that?
There's appreciation of the universe right there when you can see the stars at night.
You bet. Step out the front door and there you go. This glorious, beautiful, sparkly sky.
So tell everybody what you do for a living, Deborah.
Well, my background has been about transformation for individuals, mostly focusing on women, but I work with men as well. So when we talk about transformation, we're talking about image from the inside out, which includes values, character, ethics, habits, and behaviors. But really talking about like self-esteem, self-image, self-confidence, how one is thinking and how they use their brain to better the business and better the relationships to navigate through difficulties and problems. So that's the area that I love to focus on.
And I happen to be one of your, do I call myself a student, a client? What do I call myself?
Well, I like that because, I'm a student at Deb's. I'm just, I like that, student, because we're always learning and growing, right? I mean,
yes.
And it doesn't matter who the teacher and student is. We're always the student, I believe. We're always learning and growing. I always get great insights from my students like you. So.
And that's what spurred me to ask you to be my special guest. One of our sessions last week when we were chatting, you mentioned the word appreciation in a very unique way that I'd never really heard before, because we've had lots to talk about gratitude. And part of the Gratitude and Appreciation Summit is that word appreciation. So please share your insights about that word appreciation.
Okay. Let me start with how this came about when I was working through a situation, someone in my life who was creating a lot of grief for me. And in the moment, everybody's talking about, well, you've got to forgive the person, you got to move forward, you have to be grateful for the person. And I couldn't identify in that moment what I was grateful for. However, what I could do was identify what I appreciated about that person. So what it did was I had to start in small baby steps, moving to the place of gratitude before I reached the point of forgiveness. And I mean, I had done a lot of reading and studying on the whole forgiveness aspect. And I don't hold grudges typically, normally, that's not the type of person that I am. But I really had to go back and look at this person and go step back emotionally and go, what is it that I appreciate about this human being? What do they do extraordinarily well? What are their gifts? What are their talents? And then I was able to write and journal and talk about that. And then it was at that point of going, wow, this is what it changes the emotion inside of you about what you're feeling towards another human being or a situation or circumstance. So we're less judgy. We're not judging other people. We're not judging circumstances and events in the traditional way. That softens. And now we have this approach that we go, now we can step into the gratitude of going, wow, I'm really grateful that this person has been in my life because they've taught me very specific things, or they made me aware of certain things in my life. There was a value there. And so we could talk about those things as being gifts and opportunities when we're experiencing something really negative or really bad or difficult in our life, or extremely challenging. And then we can move to the place of forgiveness. And I think those steps, moving to appreciation, to gratitude, and then to forgiveness, that is an easy process and an easy step-by-step process to navigate.
And we chatted about your take on that word receive. That just blew my mind about receiving into your life before you can give. So please explain to me your take on receiving.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. You know, we're born as individuals where we come out of the womb, we take our breath, we're breathing in and out. And, you know, during some of the more difficult times of my life, I ended up taking my 500-hour yoga teacher training program. And a big part of that was breath work. So what I became aware of was how important that breath in is and the breath out. And so it's very balanced when you're thinking about the breath in and the breath out of your life. At least it should be balanced, because as human beings, we're naturally balanced. We come out, we've got 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, you know, 2 arms, 2 legs. And when things are out of balance or they're out of sync, and we actually, for example, we might have had a stroke, or we've experienced cerebral palsy, or we've lost an arm or a leg. What happens is now we're out of balance and we have to adjust to how things are going to be. So the idea of that breath in and breath out, you're breathing in and you take in a deep breath and you're receiving that breath and you're appreciating that breath. Especially we notice it when we're by the ocean or we step away from the city. We're out in nature and we're like, oh, you take in this deep breath and you go, wow, like how beautiful does that smell? That, you know, especially after a rain, everything is so fresh. So you deep breath in and you breathe it out, and everything is well balanced. Same with giving and receiving in life. You must draw the air in first. You must have the ability to receive. You must have the ability to appreciate and be grateful for what it is that you're receiving first. And then you have the ability to give. Now, here's the interesting thing. People talk about giving first and then receiving. I think you have to acknowledge in yourself who you are as a person, your gifts, your talents, your abilities, receive all that in as I am this amazing person. I am this awesome human being. I am gifted, talented, kind, loving. I receive it all. I accept it. I'm worthy. And now I can give. And I think that's a really important aspect, because you cannot expel a breath out if you have not taken one in first. It does not happen.
And you were mentioning that the breath in and the breath out most times are the same amount of time, which when we all think about life and you hear as I'm sure as a business coach or as business, I need balance in my life, so I need balance. And there's no such thing as balance in life, but balance in breath, that simple life-giving item that we all take for granted, I'm sure. That, and just I encourage you all out there watching or on the replay to take that breath in and to see if you can't make it longer. I don't think you can. Like when you take it, count to 3, out comes 3. Count to 4, out comes 4.
Yeah, whatever you take in, you can only push out that same amount.
That's
you
amazing.
Cannot push out extra. Does not happen. So you can breathe in extra and extra and extra and expand the lungs so that you are a person that recognizes that you have gifts and talents and abilities and value and worth. That you are more than enough. Then you have this capability of giving so much more. because we are ever evolving human beings. We're always growing, we're always developing. And if we realize that and appreciate that we are those types of beings, then we have the ability to give so much more. I mean, that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur, right? You have this ability to serve other people. And if you wanted to make a global impact, you can make a global impact with that. So here's the thing. If the breath in is not a good, healthy breath in, if, for example, it's stagnant air that we're breathing in, so we're not taking enough of it in, or it's bad air, it's bad quality, that's the same thing that comes out. And also, you may end up coughing it out. So what happens is that you don't feel your value and your worth as a human being. And then now all of a sudden you're almost puking on other people, pushing and trying to get the sale and trying to connect and trying to, will you buy my stuff? And will you, and it's such an unpleasant experience. It's like being in front of somebody who hasn't brushed their teeth yet. So the idea is it's got to be a clean, fresh air going in, and it's got to be pure as much as possible. So we're using that analogy, the same thing. When you're pulling it in, you're understanding you are the purest part of a human being, the essence of who you are, the best part of who you are is a loving, nurturing, caring human being. And you're getting rid of all that other stuff that may be toxic, that is pushing people away. And instead, what you're doing is you're now allowing other people to receive. So you're breathing out, you're giving, and you're allowing them to breathe that in.
Beautiful. And I think that's a perfect place to leave Thankful Thursday Reflections. Thank you so much, Deborah, for joining us. Or joining me, us out there. We do something special for our audience at the end of every Thankful Thursday Reflections. We take our right hand, we take our left hand, we warm them up, we do a heart. We're going to pump it 5 times because today is World Health Day around the world. So 1, 2, 3, 4, kindness out to the world, everybody. Thank you once again, Deborah, for joining, and we will see you back again next Thursday at 7:15 Pacific Daylight Savings Time for another edition of Thankful Thursday Reflections.